And welcome to our August edition of Sports Highlights. Glad you're with us. My name is Greg Bicaveras. Our program airs on Mondays at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., 7 p.m., weekends at 9 a.m. on Cox Cable 47, 517, all over YouTube and all over social media. Our program since February of 1992. Our guests today are Raymond Malone and Justice McCoy, Coach Chop. Our first guest is Raymond Malone, the Denby head football coach in his first year coming up, former military man in the Navy. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Tell us about your experience in the Navy. How did you enjoy it?
Oh, I really enjoyed the Navy. Got to travel the world, learn different trades. I was aviation machinist mate. I came in undesignated, so I was started off on a small board, the USS Nicholas, FFG 47, and then I got the experience carrier life with the USS Truman.
The Navy helped you with life, correct?
Yes, sir.
And discipline.
Yes, Greg.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about football. You've got a background. You've been at Heritage. Talk about all the different stops.
So I started off doing recreational football at the Boys and Girls Club in 2007. 2011, I was offered the opportunity to come with George Massenburg and help turn Heritage High School around, which we did our part, losing to a state semifinal team at Dinwiddie. But he taught me how to build a program and stay fast with the goals and the commission. Then I left with Coach Rodney Taylor and joined him at Menchville High School, where I was the offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. And then the past 2 seasons I spent at Heritage High School.
Now, the Navy was very disciplined as far as uniforms. How are you going to be with your Denby uniforms?
One team. We wear the same color socks. We follow all protocols. Everybody got to have the same type of mouthpiece in. I believe discipline is the way to go, and it starts with how you look, how you present yourself. At practice, right now, we all have on compression shirts, same color, so nobody is bigger than the team.
Shoes?
I'm not. I let the kids have fun and choose their cleats.
Very nice, very nice. Well, let's talk about some of your experiences. What do you remember, fond memories of Heritage?
The best memories were getting together, always doing sleep-ins at the gymnasium with the teams, with Marcus Van Hook, Dimitri Holloway, Khalil Abdullah, building the team bond. The team bond and the team chemistry was always unimaginable. The coaching staff, we all worked together. Coach Massenburg, he ran a tight ship. He made sure all of us would beat the kids there. He laid his rules out, his core values, we followed those. And it led to a successful tenure at Heritage High School.
Very nice. And of course, Heritage evolved over the years, but a lot of teams now make the playoffs. You don't have to have a winning record, but that's not something you want to preach. You want to have a winning record, and you want to move on in a positive way.
Yes, Greg. So my goal coming into this season at Denby High School is always to be able to practice on Thanksgiving. Because if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, that means you're in the second round of the playoffs, of the postseason. So I don't want them or us to settle for a bare minimum just to walk into the playoff. I really want to earn our position and know that we are there to compete and hopefully win a state championship.
And your team in Heritage a couple of years ago did very well in the playoffs.
Yes, Greg. Yes, they did. Both tenures, one where we fell short at Dinwiddie. We traveled up there, state semifinals, and then 2 years ago, we lost in the state semifinals to Lafayette High School.
Very nice. Talking to Raymond Malone, the head football coach at Denby in his first year, and we will say this too, may the memory of Tommy Riemann be eternal. Talk about your upcoming team. You got a quarterback that's played, but how do you look at it? Every player has to fend for themselves, of course, in a team concept, but you have to prove yourself too before you step on the field.
Yes, Greg. So Kevin Parker, phenomenal young man, 4-star player, does well as a student athlete. He take care of his part in the building. He walks around. He holds everybody accountable. But we also had the likes of Troy Williams, who has stepped up tremendously. He has come in from Kings Fork, where he has numerous offers. He's always the first one there, last one to leave, and Peyton Eccles. So this Denby football team will carry on the Coach Riemann era, because Coach Riemann already built the foundation. So we just want to build on top of that.
All right, talk about your assistants. How many are going to be brand new to Denby? How many are you keeping back?
So we have two returning coaches from the Coach Reedman era that is coming back. That's Coach Stephon Smith. He'll be the offensive coordinator. And we also have Coach Josh. He'll be the passing coordinator. Then we kept the likes of Coach Hogan on the staff, so he'll be the JV head coach.
Talk about your specialty. Do you like the offense or defense? But of course, now you got to oversee everything, special teams too.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard this year because I've been so used and accustomed to being the offensive guy. But I know we're in good hands with Coach Smith. But my specialty is the offensive background.
Talking to Raymond Malone, the head football coach at Denby, you're going to have to be put on the spot. You know, a lot of times teams now go for it on fourth down, but do you pretty much go for it on fourth down across the 50, but when you're at your own 50 or further back, you try not to go for it?
Well, it depends on the flow of the game. And when you're on the comms with the coaches, you want to communicate and you want to do what's best for the team. If I feel like being aggressive, which I am a very aggressive coach, I'm going to go for it. If I feel that we have something and we can get it, I'm not going to hold our players back. I'm not going to box them in. I'm going to teach them to give it everything they got every single play.
Yeah, because, you know, you have to think on the fly. You know, there is no tomorrow. Luckily, you got a really good quarterback who can run the option and can do trick plays. But a lot of times it's going to be you and him making those decisions on the fly.
Yes, Greg. We're going to have to sit there. We're going to have to communicate. And like I said, it goes back to being the feel of the game. But I trust them a whole lot. I trust the line. I trust the running back. I trust the receivers around them. Everybody, by the time August 28th get here for our first game, I know we'll have enough chemistry that we'll be able to make those decisions even as we get deeper into the season.
This could be a different year, too, because there's no Gloucester, so you're primarily playing Southside schools for non-conference. Talk about your schedule as far as the teams not in Newport News or Hampton that you're playing.
Okay, so starting off, we'll start off against Manor, and then we'll come back home against Norview. That's very different. And then most of our games will be played at Todd Stadium. So I think we only traveled 3 times this year. So we'll have enough to be across the street at Todd Stadium and have a little bit of home cooking.
Yeah. Now, when you talk about offense, defense, special teams, are you more of a running style coach, or do you like a passing, or you like to do a mix?
I say running style.
Why is that?
I like to control the game. I like the physicality of the game. I like the line to establish their dominance and show that we can control it. And I believe that in order to win championships, you must be able to run the ball.
Absolutely. And also controls the game clock too, and it chews time off the clock. So there's a lot of strategies for both, but there's nothing like that running game. Now, you said your numbers are up. Talk about that.
Yes, so we have doubled the numbers. We have 72 players right now, all eligible to play. They show up consistently to practice, and they enjoying two-a-days right now.
As you well know, being in Heritage, the varsity players can start in the 9th grade if they're good enough to play in the 9th grade. JV, of course, in the 8th grade if they want to as well. What are your thoughts about that in the middle school too?
So I did leave this part out. I had the honor of coaching Huntington Middle School during the inaugural season where I won a championship there. If you're special and you're disciplined and you do everything that you're supposed to do and you can compete at the varsity level, I will play you on the varsity level. But I don't want to rush anyone's development. I want players to grow and learn what it takes to be an athlete. Learn what type of person you want to be. It's about character. It's about being disciplined. So I would love to see them start off on junior varsity, prove themselves, and then work their way up.
Leadership too, but Gurley did play for 4 years.
Yes.
Talk about him.
So Derek Gurley, phenomenal. I just left William and Mary a while back where I got to check on him and see him, and then he did a couple of speeches with the professional development where he came and talked about his experience at Heritage. He's a true leader. He's a person who puts the team on his shoulder, but gather all the troops around and say, let's go out here and let's compete. And if the game is on the line, he kind of resembles Kevin Parker, Kevin Parker kind of resembles him. They're going to do what they need to do to try and win the game.
Right. Are you already studying looking at your players, looking at your roster? Or are you looking at practice film? What are you going by? Because last year was a totally different team.
you're correct, Greg. It's totally different. So what we've been doing 7v7s. We've been doing little thud practices here and there. We do record it and break down the practices and see what they need to work on, because it's a lot of new pieces as well.
What about camps? Are your players going to any college camps?
Yeah, so we've been to the Virginia Tech camp, we've been to the UVA camp, Norfolk State, the University of North Carolina, University of Maryland. I think I got enough miles on my credit card to get some free trips now.
Yeah, so you're definitely a big camp person. Now,
Yeah.
There'll be a big void this summer, though, without Raymond, because he was a big part of the camps.
Yes.
But the college camps still exist as well.
Yes.
And you're looking for good attitude players, too, right?
Yes, Greg, sportsmanship is the number one thing. I done seen over the years where it done went down some, so I want to restore a tradition and some decorum where players are respectful and they're also respected. I want, when somebody put on a Denby helmet, jersey, I want to hear from the community that, oh, the Denby football players are going about things the right way.
Right. Open door policy.
Open door policy.
Parents or coaches.
I done had 5 parent meetings.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good that you're on top of it. Of course, you enjoy working with Mark as your AD.
Yes, I call him Coach Williams. Coach Williams, a phenomenal guy. He come with a great background in football. He coached at Salem. He had a great year at Salem. He always giving me reference points, good advice. He's in my corner and he backing me. Good team.
Well, very good. It'll be here before you know it, Raymond. All the best to you and the Patriots this fall.
Thank you, Greg.
All right. Brand new head football coach at Denby High School, head coach Raymond Malone. Stay tuned for our next guest, Coach Chop, after these messages on our August show.
You're watching NNPS TV. Catch sports highlights on Mondays at 7, 2, and 7, and on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. Visit us online at nnpstv.com to view all your favorite episodes. NNPS TV, watching education happen.
I've been rising up and advancing in my classes.
I've been rising up to be the best student athlete I can be.
I'm rising up as a leader in my school.
I'm rising up to prepare for my future career.
We are all rising up and preparing ourselves for success, thanks to our dedicated teachers and staff in Newport News Public Schools.
Rise up!
And welcome back to the Virginia High School 1600 meter state championship. As we get back to the action, we see Miles Monpoint is gaining on Antonio Boyd for the first place finish. Oh! Miles Monpoint just tripped Antonio Boyd.
But Trayvon is helping him up right now.
Trayvon is helping him up as Trayvon just sacrificed his third place finish to help out Antonio Boyd.
Yeah, that right there is kindness and excellent sportsmanship right there by Trayvon.
And welcome back to our second segment of our August show. Hope you enjoyed our first guest, Raymond Malone. It's a pleasure now to talk to Justice McCoy, Coach Chop, founder of the Chop City Hoops Men's Basketball League and Alumni League Tournament. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
Of course, we saw each other over at Channel 10, and let's talk about your experience. How did you get involved in basketball? Obviously, you're from the tri-state area. I know you love basketball.
Yeah, so growing up early, I'm originally from Jersey City, New Jersey, so my uncles a lot in sports, so they took me to the park and everything. So I kind of kept that and grown a passion for basketball, growing up in the park. So moving down this way, growing up, I got involved with basketball in the Denby community and been playing ever since. So I kept that passion and tried to bring it to life with my own flair to this area.
How did you end up down here?
My mom and my godmom, she military contractor. She got assigned down this way. So I guess they wanted a new opportunity, something fresh, get out of the city and try the country lifestyle. It worked out, I would say.
Yeah, definitely has. We're talking to Justice, and you talk about basketball. Did you grow up as a Knicks fan, a Sixers fan, or what were you when you were a kid?
Actually, as a kid, we were Celtics fans. Yeah.
Which is rare, though.
Yeah.
Because there's so many Knicks fans there.
Yeah, so my uncles were Knicks fans, so during the time, you just want to be rivals with them. So
Sure.
I picked the Celtics.
Well, let's talk about basketball, how important fundamentals are, because I know that's a big deal for you.
So development and fundamentals is a big thing. It's just how I was taught, how basketball should be ran, how you should learn the game. You got to start with a foundation before you get to the next level, and that's with anything, just paying attention to a lot of details.
Right. What do you like to focus on the most? Was, let's say somebody goes to one of your clinics or sessions, they can do group or one-on-one. How does that work?
So a lot of my sessions are one-on-one. I like the detailed sessions as far as ball handling, learning how to shoot, your hand placement, and things like that as far as your body movement and your footwork. A lot of kids, overlook that part of it. They get out there and they're watching TV and a lot of the NBA guys and start trying to do those moves and don't know how they're doing them or, the foundation steps to get to be able to do it as fluent as them. It's a lot of hours you got to put in and a lot of detail you got to pay attention to as far as getting better.
And I call it the CC effect. You got Curry and Caitlin Clark who like to bomb it from half court, and they make it a lot, but that's not realistic for everybody.
Yeah, it's not, that's something that they put a lot of hours into. If you practice those shots, I guarantee, they're putting up at least 1,000 or 2,000 shots a day, or even in a workout session, so they'll be able to, I would say, develop that, in a day or so, being that they're consistently doing it.
Had you ever thought about coaching a high school or college team to go along with what you're doing, or are you just so busy with what you're doing already?
So that's actually, I started off at Denby High School. I was the JV coach there during Demetrius Phipps' tenure over there. I started coaching at 19, so I am the youngest in VHSL history as far as being the head coach. It was a different experience, of course, being that I just graduated a year or two ago from, the people I was walking the hallways with. But it also was a learning experience that people did put their trust in me, and I was able to withhold the expectation.
Right, so your love of basketball has helped you in your career today.
Correct.
And when you see it, the men's game compared to the women's game, they always say the women's game is more fundamental, they pass more, there's a certain session or protocol when they take the ball up the court, not as fast, but they get the job done.
Yes. So I believe women play at a much more pace. It's much more pace basketball. There's nothing forced. There's no showboating to it. Men's is kind of a lot of ego, and that comes from just the competitiveness for it. Women, they kind of take, the fundamentals of the game more serious because they're not as athletic as the boys. So they're not jumping out the gym. They're not necessarily shooting from half court. The guys, they kind of take that on as a challenge. Someone tells them that they can't do it. The next 3 shots, they're going up,
Yeah, exactly. And you talk about it, too, because really it's repetition. You teach that as well.
Correct. Repetition and going over the same thing. I saw the boring things are what matters most. And I believe that carries over within anything. Being consistent with that's not exciting. If you learn to find the joy and putting the work in while no one's watching, the unseen hours, that's what I like to call it, putting the work in during the unseen hours where it's just you, a basketball in the gym, maybe some music, Nobody's entertaining you, nobody's critiquing you to change up your pace or your workout. You're just putting in the work in, and I believe it's needed.
There's nothing like street ball, outdoor in the pavement with a chain net. That's real basketball. Like you said, I like that. I like the slogan I saw at the NCAA tournament, nothing is easy, and also yours, unseen hours, skill development, because it really is.
Yeah.
You excel when nobody's watching.
Correct. So that's kind of where I got, the idea to start the development company. The unseen hours, it carries over to a lot of different sports because we always see, the 4-star and the 5-star names, but we don't understand their story and how they get there. It's a lot of work that gets put in, whether it's in the gym or in the field. It's a lot of hours, and we got to cherish those things. So just that's the overall goal of Unseen Hours is, being able to provide high-level skill development to those who want to put in the hours.
And you really get ahead right now in the summertime. Summertime, August, September is key.
Correct. And during those off-season hours, a lot of people tend to take vacations, but you also see the difference between those who want to be great and those who are good. Those who want to be great are putting in those hours, they're missing those vacations. We're not saying don't have fun, but, it becomes something that you want to take heed to. More hours, more development, more playing, because even though you're working out, you want to be able to play the game and get a feel for the game. It's nothing like going against somebody in front of you. It's cool to be doing cone work and, but you have to play against somebody to know how to do these moves as fluently.
I agree because 2 points is 2 points, 3 points is 3 points. You don't need a showboat to make the basket, whether it's a layup. So the bottom line is always going to be the bottom line. Well, I know you love the alumni stuff. Talk about the Alumni League tournament. You've had one, in June. Let's talk about the future. You like to do them all over the state.
Yes. So my alumni tournament started off with the Peninsula District. The overall goal is to bridge the gap between generations while creating a competitive spirit with the alumni. So we have younger guys that don't know the greats that might have came from their school.
Yeah.
And it's nobody's fault. It's just a timepiece, So putting them all on the platform where they're playing on the same team for the overall goal to get a $3,000 prize to provide funding for either the basketball or girls, basketball boys and girls programs. So I think that's a real big platform. And I want to expand it, Northern Virginia, the South Side of Virginia, and all put the all-stars of the tournament and put them all in the same formatting. So we have probably 6 different districts playing in the same tournament.
Exactly. And of course, it takes all types, men, women too. You see the 3-on-3 tournaments. Does that take away from basketball, or is that just a niche thing, in your opinion?
It's a niche thing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of 3-on-3 concepts in basketball. That's why they have it as an Olympic sport. Mm-hmm. It is needed. It is competitive, as you can see. It's just all about being a niche and growing and getting more, light, shedding light on the programs.
Right. We're talking to Justice McCoy, Coach Chop, founder of the Chop City Hoops Men's Basketball League, former assistant coach at Denby High School, JV coach as well. He's definitely paid his dues. And really, when you're looking at basketball in the future, what are you seeing? How will it evolve with technology, with data analysis? Is that important for a kid to look at that data analysis or look at stats or look at a history? What do you recommend for a kid who really just wants to get in basketball and improve?
Well, I do believe stats are important because numbers are numbers. They don't lie. But I also still believe in the core value of the culture of the game. You have to get out there and play and be competitive. Learn how to grow your heart into the game, be competitive, just playing. You just have to play. Get in the gym, go outside to the court, and just play. You'll get better just because you're out there being active. If you're not active, you won't get better.
You mentioned the alumni, too. I saw recently Tim Logan, a great player at Phoebus. There's so many players around here,
yes,
from the 5 Newport News schools, the 4 in Hampton, including Gloucester, too, and the South Side, too.
Correct.
Just a hotbed of basketball.
Yeah, so I do have a couple names that have been participating in the tournament. One of the greats is Stephon Welsh, Ricardo Ratliff over at Kecoughtan, Tim Hewitt at Mitchville. Have Chris Johnson coming back from Denby High School, and Timmy Smith, he's also a coach over at Denby High School now for the alumni team, of course. Over at Hampton, I have Jordan Baker as a team coach, and he has some of his younger guys putting together and definitely willing to compete with Jalen Ray over there at Hampton as well. So plan on growing it and putting all these guys in the same gym.
That's impressive, because I'm sure there were some players that said, hey, Justice, you know what, I'm good, I'll help you out. But somebody over 40 to run up and down the court is definitely not easy.
Yeah, so I did have a lot of those guys, but they took on the coaching role or GM role, putting together, assembling the team and, communication and getting the guys in the gym. The inspiration came from the TBT tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to take that model of it and kind of put my own spin to it at the high school level. I think that's a be fun environment for the community and also for those guys to, get their second chance at some unfinished business.
Talking to Justice McCoy, and of course you mentioned Welsh, and of course he won a few state championships as a player and a coach.
Correct. So Stephon Welsh, he won back-to-back as a player and a coach. He also was my mentor. My big brother really kind of raised me in the area. So we had the same competitiveness when it comes to the basketball scene.
And I think his future is bright. It's up to him, I guess, whether he wants to pursue college or not.
Correct. I think he's happy where he's at now. His heart is in Woodside and those kids in the area. I do see it happening at some point, but I don't think his chapter is closing anytime soon.
Very nice. Talking to Justice McCoy, Coach Chop, and of course, talk about how people can get a hold of you as far as improving their skills.
You can reach me at the Newport News Safe Haven Center, the Safe Haven Empowerment Center, I'm sorry. You can call up to the center, or you can DM me on Instagram at The Unseen Hours, or you can DM the Chop City Hoops page on Instagram.
The Safe Haven definitely helps kids' self-esteem.
Correct. So it's a platform provided for all kids of any ages and adults. We don't just shy away from it. It's an open door policy for everyone in the community. So if you want to get in the gym, we definitely have some gym time for you available. Or even if you want to shoot hoops, we have open gym weekly, Sundays and Tuesdays. So it's all about coming to the center.
What time Sunday and Tuesdays?
So Sunday we run open gym 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Tuesday nights we run it from middle school and elementary school from the time they get out of school at 3:30, I believe, to about 5:30. And then we open it up for the older guys around from 7 to 9 p.m.
And mental health is so important.
Correct. We do have a mental health, I would say, facility within the facility that people with family issues and things like that they want to come talk to someone about, we do offer that.
What advice would you give to a kid who's watching going into the 9th grade that wants to play JV or varsity basketball?
I would tell them to get involved. If they know what school that they want to go talk to the coaches, or reach out to the former players that you might know of. Go to the games. Just being around the game. That's how you mainly get involved.
Very nice. All right. I want to thank our guest today, Raymond Malone. Justice, great job today as well.
Thank you.
Justice McCoy, Coach Chop, founder of the Chop City Hoops Men's Basketball League, Alumni League Tournament. Looking forward to several more of these Alumni League tournaments, like you said, all over the peninsula, all over Hampton Roads, all over the state, in the Mid-Atlantic and beyond. Great job today by Raymond, talking about Denby football and the legacy of the Patriots. I want to thank our great crew in our summer August edition. Everybody always helping each other out. I want to thank our wonderful producer, Ray Price, as well. I'm Greg Bickaveris. Happy August, and we'll talk to you soon.